Hey everybody, it's Yanni Baby on the ones and twos with PowerChoice Productions. I got a special treat for you guys. I got Lil Kari all the way from Florida, y'all. He's here to talk about Juneteenth himself, being here in Harrisburg, and just putting us down on how he feels about Juneteenth and being one of the opening acts for Jadakiss on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
What's up?
What's going on, Lil Kari? Say what's up to Harrisburg.
Harrisburg, what it is. Hold on, they call it the Berg.
The Berg.
Yeah, I was taking a walk earlier and I was like, okay, I'm in the Berg. You know what I'm saying? It sounded a little bit more swaggy. So I'm happy to be here.
Yes, we are definitely happy to have you here.
Yeah.
When I discovered you on Instagram, I was just like, wow, this is such a powerful artist. I like the fact that you're highly intelligent. Tell us a little bit about school, because they didn't even believe me. They didn't even believe that your GPA was what it was.
Most people don't, when they first hear it. I get that a lot. Like, a lot of people, like, I don't believe this, etc. So it's kind of become normal. But a little bit about me. My name is Jakari, but I go by Lil Kari. You know what I'm saying? As you know, the swaggiest, the motion man. And essentially, about my GPA itself. So I had a 5.4 GPA when I was in school. And I graduated high school 2 weeks after I graduated college. So I graduated college earlier than high school. And it was
Y'all hear that?
Yeah. So it was basically.
Say it again for the back.
Yeah, so I graduated college 2 weeks earlier than I graduated high school. So the graduations were back to back. And essentially, how it got to that point was I was doing dual enrollment classes, and I started in middle school. And then from there, I went to a school that was called Millennium Collegiate Academy. And basically at this school, what we did was we did AP classes, college courses, and we also did a little bit of high school. So it was all integrated. So the high school classes that we did were AP, but we also did them in tangency with college, right?
Okay.
And so that's where you get that surplus and that GPA level, because we were doing things outside of a high school grade point average, right?
More like accelerated classes.
Exactly,
right.
Accelerated classes. And then so I did that from 9th and 10th grade, and then I transferred to another school called College Academy at Broward College. So this was on the actual Broward College campus, right?
Okay.
And it was the same situation as I had at Millennium. However, we were actually on the college campus now. So I probably did 4 or 5 actual college classes there and like 1 high school class, because we were basically done with high school at that point. So I did that 11th and 12th grade, and then that's when I graduated with my bachelor's. I'm sorry, not my bachelor's, but that's when I graduated with my AA degree and also my high school diploma. And that's when I transferred to FAMU. Go Rattlers.
All right. So that's what's up. Yeah. That's really remarkable. And now the other thing that stood out about you to me was that you are an artist and you rap. And I was like, the lyrics weren't just catchy. It was meaningful.
Right.
And it was very like real, but it wasn't just the traditional YN. It was more so like giving the YNs a little bit of encouragement to be better and to let them know that they don't have to be subjected to the negativity, that they could really, put that energy into something better. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Give us a little bit about how you came about with the lyrics to a lot of your songs and like the message and a little bit about motion.
Yeah, so motion to me means mentally overcoming the influence of negativity. So that's what I base my brand around. They call me the motion man because that's essentially what I do, right? Juneteenth, that's what we do as Black people. We overcome a lot.
Right.
And so Juneteenth is a celebration of those overcomings. And so motion is always on par with that. And so everything that I do is basically based around not only motion, but overcoming the circumstances that we all have essentially been born into, right? And so for me, the evolution of who I am as a person kind of came about from me just being able to go on my own journey.
Right.
And from there, not trying to be the status quo or, the social norms. I think a lot of us grow up in environments, and because we're from these environments, we think that we have to be subjective to what the environment tells us to be.
Right.
Drug dealers, killers, kingpins, all these different things come about, but there's no one, preaching the gospel. There's no one actually helping, our generation of young men. A lot of us are lonely because we don't know what path to go. And I think a lot of people, they don't, especially young men, they don't want to go down that path, but when you don't have any leadership, you go towards what's going to lead you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so...
And to feel included and to feel a part of something.
Exactly.
Because a lot of gang members, they're looking for that togetherness, that unity, that brotherhood, that protection.
Exactly. And because of that, you have a lot of us that are going down paths that lead us astray. And, you get the same cycle of killing, impoverishment, so many different things that occur, that are on our lineages. And we're battling between not only the things that we see outside, but the things that are also in the home.
Right.
And so, my platform, especially once I figured it out, it took me having to go off to college, having to relearn some things, going through therapy, my relationship with God developing a lot more, you know what I'm saying?
I want you to touch on that a little bit because I feel like nowadays a lot of the kids are really not in tune with spirituality, let alone religion.
Right.
So were you like raised in a church, or was that something that you came about? Did you find your religion, or did you find your spirituality through experience, or was that something that was ingrained to you? Like, mom's always had you going to church on Sunday and Bible study on Wednesday.
It was never really nothing like that growing up. I think my closest thing to something like that was my grandmother, my late grandmother that passed away.
Rest in peace, Grandma.
Yeah, Annie Luke. She actually, was the individual that put me in church with her. Because whenever I went over her house, my mom and dad were divorced. So whenever I would go to my dad's side of the family, it'd always be my grandma's house, right? Because that was how we got to school.
The grandmoms always hold it down for the pops.
Yeah. So, shout out to grandma. So she always, on Sunday, she would make us go to church, with her.
Right.
From there, it'd be 2-3 hour services. So it wasn't something that was ingrained in me because it was something that it wasn't a choice at that point.
Right.
But it wasn't consistent either.
Right.
I would go to church maybe like once every 2 months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, a lot of people are putting God in the box. A lot of times I think it was through me, it was through experience. First and foremost, it was through heartbreak, anguish, different things that kind of occurred at such a young age. Going off to college, finding yourself. And then through there, through those trials and tribulations, you have nothing else to kind of turn to.
Right.
But yourself, but your faith. And for me, a lot of people put God in the box where it's like they think it's religion. A lot of times you got to cultivate that relationship. Even if you think about the Pharisees and how they were religious, right? But they didn't have a relationship, right? It was things that they were doing. They thought they were holier than thou, etc. So I think a lot of times you just got to call on God and try to go towards that relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That relationship is the most important thing over anything else. And, for me, that's become big in my walk.
Do you feel like your faith has a major component in the way that you navigate your career as an artist?
Absolutely. I think for me, and once you get to understand God's character, it's like what is and what isn't of God's character. So it allows you to be able to navigate towards BS that ain't for you.
Right, because it can be very treacherous in the industry.
Absolutely.
A lot of temptation, a lot of just temptation, just things that could really lead you astray if you're not strong within and knowing who you are and having those boundaries and understanding and closeness. You can easily get glazed and be up in one of them Diddy parties and not even know it because you're chasing that bag or chasing that image or that trying to be in the spaces with the people even though you haven't really fully arrived yet.
Yeah, and I think but think about it too. If we're going back to even Juneteenth, I think as Black people we have so much to offer. But the issue is the individuals that are in office or the individuals that are in these spaces of influence people the wrong way.
I can agree with that.
Even if you look at the artists, the individuals that are the biggest artists of today within our culture, they don't spew anything out but things that wither away. You know what I'm saying? It's all about you know what I'm saying, making money the bag, or it's all about, you know what I'm saying, I'm robbing, I'm killing. Like, that's what I hear. You know what I'm saying? When you turn on the radio, that's who we are.
But I can say Kendrick kind of put a more conscious rap in the forefront in comparison to before when it was just kind of like mumble rap for a while. I feel like They Not Like Us kind of made people pay more attention to lyrics, I think, where it became so controversial between the Drake and, Kendrick beef. But it allowed us to really listen to some things that he had spoke on, and it did kind of make you think.
And I'm not even talking about Kendrick. It ain't even about Kendrick per se.
No, I'm just saying in the sense of it being conscious, because he's not just speaking on he's speaking on things that relates to him.
Yeah, his story.
However, it relates to others too, because it's a
It's a lot of
phenomenon.
people's story. I think,
Yeah.
I think the issue comes in, and this isn't even about Kendrick at all. You know what I'm saying? You put a name to it, but it's like it's not even about him. It's honestly the glorifying of it that makes it, wrong. Like for me, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us, and it leads kids to think that these things are okay, like they cool. You know what I'm saying? It's the social norm. So I think not even just him, you know what I'm saying?
J. Cole, he's another conscious rapper.
Like I'm not even talking about conscious rappers. I'm talking about as black people. You know what I'm saying? When we look at the top 5 artists that are popping right now, you could look at TikTok, Instagram, whatever. It's like most of the songs are spewing out nothing but negativity. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even. It's not even this artist. It's just as a whirlpool of what we represent. You know what I'm saying? As a culture.
In that perspective, I definitely concur. I feel like it could be more intentional lyrics that could be more motivating. And that takes it back to how I became interested in you as an artist, because you were speaking positivity, and I thought it would be a great way to be able to include that on our platform to reach out to our youth here in Harrisburg, because they are struggling and they are going through a lot of different things. We have so many kids that passed away within the last few years, and it's been really saddening, sickening, and terrifying, actually, because it's from ages from 12 to 22, 23 years old. So we're losing our youth instead of encouraging them and putting them in positions to win. We're losing them and not giving them that extra space or attention or whatever it is that they need to be able to feel that they don't have to go and, do the wrong thing to feel like they belong, or that they're being seen or being heard or proven a point to be accepted.
No, absolutely. I think even for me, when I think back, I just turned 22 a month ago. But when I think back to my 21st birthday, I remember it very, very vividly. Like, I cried, what I'm saying, on my 21st birthday. And the reason I cried is because the reason I cried, bro, was because I was just thinking about everything and all the homies and different people that I knew
didn't make it
that didn't make it to this point. You know what I'm saying? And it's like where I'm
especially
from,
as a black man.
Yeah, like where I'm from, or like in this, like the hoods that we grow up in, is like 21 is a staple, right?
So where are you from? Tell the people, where are you from, Lil Kari?
I'm from Pompano Beach, Florida.
Oh, okay. And what is it like down there? Tell us about it.
I think Pompano, man, I think growing up in Broward, period, as a whole, it's a lot of culture, right? Like I think Florida as a whole, like we got a swag to us. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that where Kodak and
Kodak he's from Pompano.
Oh, okay.
So like a lot of us, we got a swag down south. We got our type of music. It's very, very cultured. And it's a lot of amazing stuff out in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what's plastered on the TV, they see Sandy.
Yeah, because they definitely get on Florida.
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or even just Miami. It ain't even just got to be Florida. Like Miami, everyone thinks of sandy beaches, nice weather. But it's like, yeah. And it's like, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Certain parts when you go into the inner cities, right? It's like you got kids, the same thing that you see in Harrisburg, the same thing that you see on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? It's good and it's bad. But when it comes to our community, a lot of times we just do a lot of different things, It's still it's the same things, you know what I'm saying? But it just takes somebody to try to make a difference. You know what I mean?
So kind of going back into the whole purpose of you being here, how did you feel when you were offered the opportunity to be able to perform at Juneteenth, Harrisburg?
I thought it was dope. I think for me, Juneteenth is a really, really, really dope event to celebrate, us as a people, our culture. So when I was offered, to come out here and, perform alongside some dope artists, I took it as, opportunity to be able to not only expand, out here in the East Coast a little bit more, but to be able to do something purposeful, with my set, come out here, vibe with y'all for a couple of days, see how
that was definitely the intention.
Yeah.
That intention was definitely there for you to inspire and embrace the youth and let them be able to see a live form of an individual that's doing the things and that it can be done.
You know what I noticed as well,
What's that?
Coming up, I think one of the biggest things that has stuck with me as far as like you don't realize how much you need faith beyond what you can see
Yes.
until you get older and you need faith beyond what you can see. Like
Yes.
as a kid, that's not in your like in your thought process at all.
No.
Right? It only when you become an adult and you start experiencing things and you go out to different places, it's like
Right.
I need this faith to be able to keep going. And one of the biggest things that keeps me going as well is realizing that there's dominion in things that God has ordained me to see and places to be for different people. Right?
Okay.
So,
a little bit more.
so therefore, for me, that's one of the biggest things when I get in any type of moment, that allows me to keep going because I know that there's someone that I was only ordained to touch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like there's somebody that only I can get to. There's somebody only you can get to.
Right.
Regardless of if it's 100,000 people or 50. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's true.
certain individuals that only I am going to be able to help. Right. And so that continues to allow me to be able to keep doing what I'm doing. So.
And I'm so thankful that you're going to be here to celebrate Juneteenth, Harrisburg this year, 2025 at HMAC. This will be the Hip Hop and Harmony Influencers and Friends concert. We're really excited about this. It's going to be an amazing experience. We got Rock Nation in the building. We're going to have a fireside chat with the brother Hassan Sharif. He's Jadakiss production and tour manager. We're also going to have possibly other bloggers that are going to be in the building. We're going to have who's running for office, going to be speaking with some elected officials because we're including civics this year and economics and community engagement and, of course, arts and culture. So it's going to be an amazing time. I'm just super psyched out that you're going to be there. We're going to have the amazing host, Amberella. Yeah. She's going to be there on the ones and twos. We got DJ Bach. We also are going to have an after party at Men in the Kitchen with DJ Noisy. Yeah. We got DJ Liddy for the VIP and sponsor room.
A lot of DJs.
Because we got a lot of things going on, honey. Yeah. We popping like that.
Okay, for sure.
We got to treat our VIP very special. So they have their own special lounge area. So they got to have their own stage and their own performances with their own DJ.
Right.
Because, that's how we do at YPOC. We look out for ours.
That's dope.
This is going to be an amazing experience. I'm super excited, super dope to be able to bring you out here. Of course, you are a PowerChoice, and I'm looking forward to an amazing event on Saturday. Is there anything that you would like to share about your experience so far, or what you're looking forward to, or what you got coming up next?
Yeah, I would say so far, Harrisburg has treated me nicely. Shout out to Yanni, being a really, really amazing host so far. Showing me a lot of hospitality that we call Southern. So it's definitely appreciated.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it's really appreciated. But I met a lot of some good people so far. And I'm excited for the next couple of days to see what comes about.
Yes.
But Harrisburg, it's different. It's obviously a lot different than Florida.
Yes.
But it's gonna be a good time. And as far as me, I'm ready to rock the stage tomorrow as well. You know what I'm saying? Make it something dope. And to give these, these Harrisburg folks a good performance, that lasts, and then hopefully it transcends beyond just me being out here physically.
Oh, you are more than welcome.
You know what I mean?
So always come back to the Bird. You definitely are welcome to PowerChoice Productions. YPOC loves you. So you have a home here. You're always welcome. The gang is with it. We'll look out for you. Make sure you straight. You got you some headshots in.
Yeah. Shout out to
he was looking like a whole CK model, y'all.
Yeah. Shout out to the homie, man.
Shout out Club King Ivan and his wife.
Crazy. His wife.
Yes, they holding us down over here at Create and Collab.
Facts. But hopefully, my biggest thing is for me, whenever I do go on stage, is to spark the change. Right? Yeah. That's the biggest thing. Whenever I'm performing, it's to touch at least one person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And with that, hopefully with me touching that one person, because I can't be everywhere at one time.
Right.
So when I come out and I perform and I do whatever I got to do, I'm speaking. The whole goal is to touch one individual, and that one individual go out and do their own thing. And from there, it sparks a change within the community that they're a part of.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how you keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
That's the biggest thing. So that's what my takeaway is for tomorrow. Whenever I do get on the show, is to be able to spark that inside somebody. And, you see the God in them. And as they continue to go, they able to go ahead and keep, you know what I'm saying, procreating.
Right.
And I would say lastly, I got a new song coming out on the 27th. It's called Squid Game, you know.
Okay.
And we making it in conjunction in honor of Squid Games dropping June 27th as well.
Okay.
Season 3.
Plugged in. You hear that, y'all?
Yeah. So shout out to us being the unofficial soundtrack for Squid Games, the show. You know what I'm saying? They finna pick it up. So
Manifesto presto.
Nah, facts. So
that's how we doing over here. You heard?
Yeah. Nah, shout out to Squid Games because they finna send a check. So it's all
okay.
good. It's all good. No, but we really did it. It's one of my most intentional songs thus far.
Okay.
And it's gonna be really, really dope. You know, just to talk about the state of the world and the different things that we go through as individuals. Right. So the song Squid Game came about. It's obviously was sparked because of the show itself.
Right.
But the show itself isn't where it stops.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So for me, you know, the song is really just intentional about, you know, the state of America, the things that we're going through, you know, people being in debt and the things that they do, you know what I'm saying, to get out of that debt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the song is very, very intentional. The song is very purposeful, and it's hopefully it sparks a mind and sparks a shift, right? And that's all we want to do.
Right.
That's us always the goal. So shout out to Squid Game.
All right. Shout out to Squid Game.
Yeah.
How can people find you?
You can find me on socials at Lil Kari _36, LILKARI _36. You can also find me on anything that you listen to music at Lil Kari. And yeah, that's it.
There you have it, guys. Lil Kari coming through on the 1s and 2 with yours truly, Yanni Baby, PowerChoice Productions. And you can find me at your fingertips on IG. That's ATCHA fingertips. Also, you can check out my website at PowerChoiceProductions.com. I hope to see you guys on June 21st, 2025 at HMAC on 3rd Street, 7 p.m. Doors open.
Yeah, let's get it.